January 14th. Thanks for joining us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Abby Ferdman.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. We have so much to get to this morning here on ARC Rochester, including two local high school students are in D.C. presenting a NASA-backed astronomy conference. We will sit down with them to learn more about their research and this amazing opportunity.
Yeah, the future is bright with those two. And then we are going to take a walk down the yellow brick road. We're getting a closer look at Oz with Orchestra and the special exhibit that you get to visit too. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, me too. But before all of that, we want to check in with our good friend Mark McLean this morning. We're seeing some cold temperatures out there. Mark, I don't think we're getting any relief anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not a lot, that's for sure. It's a forecast for the winter lovers over the coming weeks, and it looks like we're just locking into one of these patterns that's going to deliver on plenty of cold. And we're at 19 degrees. You see some stray flurries just passing by the camera there. But the part of the forecast you really notice is that west wind at 16 makes it feel like it's 4 degrees outside. And of course, it's blowing around some of that snow from last night. Check out some of the amounts out in Genesee County. We saw some of these totals between 3 and 6 inches out towards Pembroke. It was 4 inches. Closer to Spencerport, just a coating to a half inch of snow. Now, Ultimate Doppler still has some snow going off to the west. This is into Orleans County near Carlton, north of 104 basically. And the stronger band of snow down towards Warsaw. If you have to travel south of Buffalo, definitely be aware of that one. It's going to slow you down quite a bit if you have to go out that direction. But close to Rochester, we stay mainly snow-free. That's going to change tonight. 8, 9, 10 o'clock tonight. We're going to get a burst of snow comes on through, coating to 2 inches for everybody tonight. And then as we head through the day, tomorrow, put down some snow showers, and I think snow amounts in that 2 to 4 inch range for a lot of spots. So the headlines today, 2 to 4 inches into Wyoming County. Tonight, that trace to 2 inches near Rochester. Out through time here and take a look at when those temps are back in the 30s coming up.
It seems like it's just going to be enough snow to be inconvenient when you have to brush off your car in the morning, but you know, nothing we can't handle, right?
That's right. Yeah. Northeast suburbs, you know, if you're up towards Webster or Rondequoit, you know, these sneaky little events can overproduce in some spots. If it does, it's going to be out that way towards Sodus and Wolcott Lakeside. Those are the spots that could have a shovelable snow by the end of tomorrow afternoon.
All right. And hey, a friendly reminder, like,
it's a weather warehouse right in your pocket.
Love it. All right, Mark, thank you. Yeah. Time right now is 8:03. We're going to get to some developing stories that we are following closely on this Tuesday morning. And we're going to start things out with Governor Kathy Hochul's plans for the new year.
Yeah, so the governor will be giving her State of the State address today. She has said that the future will be focused on education, mental health, and has also hinted at introducing legislation to restrict cell phone use in schools.
Yeah, Hochul says one of her main goals for 2025 is also to put more money in the pockets of New Yorkers with proposals which would eliminate copays for insulin and also offer some relief with medical debt. The governor's address is set for 1 o'clock this afternoon. We will stream it live on our website, 13wham.com, and I'm sure we will have extensive coverage coming up later. 13wham News at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight, breaking down that State of the State address.
And also happening today, the city of Rochester is looking for community input on the impact of the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, last month, Mayor Malik Evans announced a community-wide survey, which can be taken right on the city's website.
And tonight, there is a community input meeting for residents in Northwest. And yesterday, Monroe County announced a new overdose fatality review team. Now, that team will be made up of public and mental health experts, and they'll meet monthly to identify trends and review data with the goal of finding ways to save lives impacted by the opioid crisis. According to the county's overdose dashboard, there were more than 1,700 overdoses last year, 143 of which were fatal.
All right, we're going to turn now to some national news and a story that we've been following pretty closely. The Supreme Court is expected to make a decision any day now on the future of TikTok.
Yeah, now without intervention from the High Court, the social media app will be banned in the U.S. this Sunday.
The U.S. government has argued that the app poses national security risks because of its parent company, ByteDance, that is based in China. Well, a local cybersecurity expert over at RIT says he thinks that the ban is necessary.
The data and information can be used twofold. First, the more data and information you have, the easier it is to perform cyber attacks. Most cyber attacks begin with some form of social engineering, fooling users into revealing more information by presenting them with the data and information you have. TikTok could be a treasure trove for this. Many users, including adolescents, can be psychologically manipulated and radicalized based on what they're shown.
All of that being said, Emily King, who's a local content creator with millions of followers on the app, says TikTok has changed her life and could put a lot of people out of work if that ban goes into effect.
It has hit me now, most recently, that this might actually happen. It is going to happen. I think all the other times it was threatened, but it didn't really seem like it was going to come to fruition. And now it feels like this is happening. My livelihood is definitely on TikTok primarily. I think for a lot of people that haven't diversified, their livelihoods are going to be down to nothing. You know, their whole life is up in the air. There's a lot of people that quit their jobs to be content creators because of the success that they have had on TikTok. And now it's just all for naught. And there's a lot of insecurity there. So I think that's what's really unfair. Like, yes, it will impact me. There will be an impact. I'll be okay. I have a family, I have support, but that's not everyone. Like, a lot of people really do rely completely on TikTok. And there's a lot of businesses too that sell their items and rely on the TikTok shop to sell those products.
Now, again, if the ban does go through, the app will stay on the phones of 170 million Americans, but support for it, including updates, would go away.
And this has been a pretty hot topic of conversation, not just with TikTok, but social media as a whole. So that will kind of lead us now, I believe, into our poll of the day today. A lot of people posting their own thoughts on this approaching deadline.
Yeah, that is for sure. Seeing if we're pulling up our poll of the day here. So we're asking you, how do you feel about social media? And we want to see in the comments below. Here are your options. Love it all. Less platforms, the better. Check it every now and then and stay away from it all.
Yeah, those are your options. Steph, do you care to weigh in yet?
Yeah, I need to actually cast my vote, but I would say, I don't love it all, but I'm always on it. So I think that that's the option for me.
Yeah.
And with our lines, TikTok, Instagram as well. So I think that a break is a good idea. If you can take one, you should.
I'm with you. If it wasn't part of the job, I would stay away from it altogether. I think it sucks you in and it puts you in a bad place, and it gives people the opportunity to poke and prod at you, and it's I just don't get it. I don't get it. But hey, we want to know your thoughts and feelings. So scan the QR code on your screen with your smartphone. It'll take you to the poll. You can weigh in and we will share the results, general consensus, coming up at the end of the 9 o'clock hour. And if you're kind, maybe we'll share some of your answers, but only if you're kind.
Hey, stick around here. We have so much more to get to on our Rochester, including when we come back, we are heading in the kitchen with Chris Lopez.
Don't forget, take us wherever you are. Stream us live on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back out after this.
Well, many pizza spots around Rochester may be extra busy this week. Well, that's because it's National Pizza Week.
Yeah, there's a national day, a national week for everything, right? So in honor of the celebration, Chris Lopez wanted to visit a spot that he's never been to before and check out all that they have to offer. He was in the kitchen when we checked in with him last. And Chris, you took a big bite of that messy pizza. You gave it 2 thumbs up, but I want to know how good it was.
It was great. Definitely top level. So you had the zestiness from the banana peppers. The bread was, well, I've been saying it all day and I kind of been making a joke, but it was really airy but very weighty right in there. And the best thing about the Detroit style pizza is the caramelization of that cheese. It's unlike anything else, not New York style, Chicago style, definitely Detroit style has a great caramelization with that cheese. And I do want to ask you real quickly, is that why we prep the cheese like that, to get that caramelization on the sides?
That's how it's done, yeah. Cheese edge to edge, they always say. It'll just melt right down the side and get you that, what I call the Cheez-It crust.
And then you guys have much more on the menu than just pizza. How many kinds of pizzas do you guys have, just to start off?
We have about 8 what we call menu pies, where we tell you what we think is good.
Yeah.
And those are popular, some more than others. And then we have the build your own, and that is the #1 seller. Everyone wants it their way. It's pizza, you know, everyone's got an opinion. You guys aren't the best, this place is the best, this place, everyone has such a huge opinion about pizza. So the build your own, very popular. They tell us what they want, we do our best to make it.
Sides-wise, what are we working with? I thought these were egg rolls.
Yeah, those are not egg rolls. Those are a special we're doing right now. Those are we call saucy logs. Pizza logs with pepperoni and cheese, sauced how you want. We have buffalo sauces, sweet sauces, spicy sauces, some dry rubs. So the customer chooses what kind of sauce they want their pizza logs tossed in. Really fine dining stuff.
What else do you guys have on the menu? I'm seeing a little bit of salad. Just keeping it relatively healthy with the salad with the greens.
Yeah, the salad is very simple. I'm going to make that for you real quick. It's got a little bit of radicchio. It's got some tiny bit of iceberg and a bunch of romaine, cherry tomatoes, fresh cut cucumbers, a healthy amount of this Romano cheese, and then we make some croutons. We call them pizza dough croutons because we take that pizza dough we make and we turn them into croutons.
That's unique.
All
right there. So nothing going to waste.
No, just use the same stuff. For a while, we were making different breads for it, or we were buying croutons, and we said, no way, we're just doing pizza dough croutons. And one thing you'll notice about our salads when you get them here, they're pretty hefty. You know, that's,
wait, is that a serving side?
That is one, yeah, that is one. And honestly, it's probably a little light. I don't get to work this station. This is the coveted fry station. People love working this station, so I don't really get to. And it's typically a little bit bigger. Sometimes I see it go out and I'm like, good God.
My girlfriend would love the size of that salad she's a pizza and salad fan. What else we working with?
Not much. We're doing tenders and we're doing wings. And that is basically the entirety of the menu. We like to keep it real simple. We like to just try to, you know, please everybody,
pizza,
but within reason.
Right?
The pizza is what we are really trying to shine.
And the wings?
So the wings, we got a few different unique kind of sauces. This right here is one of the customer favorites. We take an obscene amount of Doritos Cool Ranch and we pulverize it, and then we add a little bit of actual ranch powder to it, and then you end up with something like that. So these are like our Doritos Cool Ranch wings right there. And then,
I have my hands full right now. I got to try some of this.
And then we have some more standard, just kind of buffalo sauces, crowd pleasers. I'm gonna send you with these the hot.
Brian, what are you doing to me this morning,
man? I heard you like hot wings, so we're gonna get you nice and hot. And, you know, besides pizza, that's the entirety of the menu. You know,
okay, and when should someone check out Pizza Wizard? When should they put the order in while I'm taking a bite of this stuff?
The earlier, the better, you know. In most days, you can get an order from Pizza Wizard in 20 minutes or less. But Fridays, Saturdays, you know, prime Bills games, you're definitely going to want to order ahead.
That is good. That is amazing.
It's kind of like an egg roll.
Let me move over. This is interesting right here. I want to try this.
Doritos Cool Ranch.
It smelled like when you were tossing it. It smelled like a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos.
There you go.
I like that. That's very unique right there. How'd you come up with that? Who's the R&D expert here?
This This dish has an infamous story. It came up, the idea came from 7-Eleven. It was in 7-Eleven. That's where we take a lot of inspiration from. You know, the freezer section of 7-Eleven. We see what's trending in the aisles. And Doritos were what was trending. We saw Doritos chicken nuggets in the 7-Eleven.
Got the wings. I want to keep calling them egg rolls. What are these again?
Pizza logs.
Pizza logs, man. I'm sending it back. I gotta eat. I'm really hungry. I skipped breakfast. Been eating a lot of vegetarian stuff lately, so I got a lot of fiber. I gotta send it back to you in studio, you know?
Okay, don't feel bad for you, first of all. Second of all, Stephanie also has never had a pizza log, and my mind is blown right now. McLean, have you? Yeah, McLean has. They're
well,
killer.
add it to the list.
They're so good. Oh my gosh.
He's
All right.
still chowing down.
Yeah, Chris, I'm jealous. I want to know, is the hot wing good? Is the hot one, or is it too hot for you? You think
it's good.
It's not too hot?
It's
up
too
there.
hot. Oh, all right.
It's up there. It's pretty hot.
All right.
Abby, it's pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
Good stuff, Chris.
It's up there.
All right. He'll need some milk. That's like one of the tricks that they do.
Yeah, maybe some almond milk. Do you think that'll work too?
Almond milk? Probably.
Maybe some dairy-free people. Yeah.
No.
A little lactose intolerant. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll have to try that one day. Hey, stick around. We have so much more to get to here on Arc Rochester, including when we come back, the latest information on some of the top stories we're following this morning.
Yeah, a news break coming up after this. Good Tuesday morning. I'm Abby Fridman. Here is your Arc Rochester news break. Rochester police are looking for suspects this morning after a stabbing on the west side. Police say around 9:30 last night, a man in his 20s arrived at Strong Memorial, where we're told he's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. According to investigators, he was stabbed after an argument on Child Street near Campbell. No suspects are in custody. Those with information are asked to call 911. New developments in the case of Robert Brooks, who died after he was beaten by corrections officers at a central New York prison last month. Tomorrow, his family is planning to announce a civil rights lawsuit and address the media. His death remains under investigation. Employees at the prison have been suspended, but so far no criminal charges have been announced. A Rochester man is now awaiting sentencing after he was found guilty of murdering a Rochester taxi driver. 36-year-old David Lee Porter was found guilty on all charges in the murder of David Treese. This happened last year. Prosecutors say in April, Porter climbed into Treese's taxi and began brutally beating him with a gun before shooting and killing him. The entire incident was recorded on a camera from inside the cab. His defense argued Porter was too intoxicated to intentionally kill Treese.
I didn't really believe, as I stated in my closing, that intoxication was an excuse or even anywhere near where it had to be in order to negate the elements. I'm glad it sounds like that they have a good support system, and while nothing that we do here at sentencing on the 14th will, alleviate their loss, hopefully it brings them some closure.
Porter could face life behind bars when he's sentenced next month. The defense declined to comment after court yesterday. We're told nobody was hurt after a car crashed into a home in Wayne County. It happened just around 1:30 on State Route 31 in Palmyra. The fire department says the garage sustained extensive damage but isn't in danger of collapsing. Neighbors tell us this isn't the first time something like this has happened.
We've had a box truck smash into our house before, and recently a car go off, and then don't be dumb, don't be stupid.
The cause of the crash is still under investigation this morning. We are following a data breach which could impact thousands of students in the Rochester City School District. Officials say the district has been informed of the breach involving PowerSchool, a platform used for managing student and staff information. PowerSchool officials say it became aware of a potential incident late last month and immediately started security protocols. The RCSD tells us it's working to see just how many people have been impacted and what that impact entails. And turning now to major changes atop the Buffalo Police Department. Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia says he has resigned from the role and will return to the rank of captain. According to our sister station in Buffalo, his resignation came after a meeting with acting mayor Chris Scanlon, who said he would be taking the department in, quote, a different direction. Gramaglia was appointed commissioner in 2022 by then Mayor Byron Brown. In a statement, Gramaglia writes in part, quote, it's been an honor of a lifetime to serve the residents of the city of Buffalo and to work alongside the incredible women and men who make up the Buffalo Police Commissioner. For these top stories and new developments, visit 13wham.com. Stick around. Arc Rochester will be back right after this.
Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Stephanie Joseph.
I'm Abby Ferdman. We still have a lot to get to coming up. But first, to Washington, D.C., where our next guests are part of a really, really exciting opportunity and an exciting conference, too.
Yeah, that MAC are in D.C. for a NASA-backed astronomy conference where they are presenting their research.
Yeah, for more on this amazing opportunity, we're joined now by teacher Joseph Perry and students Madeline Sullivan and Richard Perry. Good morning to all of you, and a big congratulations, too, on this achievement. This is really incredible.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. You know, you guys are way, way smarter than we could ever dream to be, because you're literally, it's rocket science, what you're doing over there. For those of us who are unfamiliar with the research, tell us a little bit about it.
So we're basically looking for young stellar objects, which are basically baby stars and like stars that haven't been ignited yet. So they're not visible through visible light. So we have to look through the infrared excess, basically heat, to find them.
And all of this information was recorded not a long time ago, but within the last couple decades. And this stuff has been sitting in data vaults at Caltech. And now we get to go back over that data, and we look for, with a lot of assistance from Dr. Riebel at Caltech, and we find these young stellar objects.
And how did this all sort of get started?
There is a program called running for about 20 years. 18 months ago, I applied to the program, and I was interviewed by Dr. Riebel just after that picture was taken. And lo and behold, I was admitted to the program. I believe there's about 100, maybe a few more than that, teachers. There was 8 teachers admitted into the program, and there's another 8 teachers this year. And then I turned it over to my astronomy students, and I said, okay, who wants to do research with me? And
and for you guys, what was it that really captured your attention?
Since we're such a small high school in rural New York, it's hard to find so many opportunities where we can do research with such a big program like NITARP. So I jumped at the chance to be able to do anything that would expand my horizons this way.
And they happen to be juniors in my college astronomy class, and that was it started last year, and it's.
And I'm wondering, for the both of you, where did your passion sort of come from for astronomy, but also this project?
When I was little, I had a little constellation book that I used to look at all the time, and I would go outside and I would look up at the sky and see if I could find the constellations. So that was probably the catalyst for my love for astronomy. But it kind of took a back burner until I took my Astronomy 101 class last year.
Oh.
And then it was so great to be able to like learn all this stuff and then be able to actually apply it in this research.
And I've always been crazy about astronomy. I obviously teach it, but I mean, being an earth sciences teacher, you teach geology, meteorology, and astronomy. So, but astronomy is my like love, and so to be at Caltech, I mean, it's like literally. And then we got to see JPL. So many amazing things to both these guys here. It's just yeah.
Well, clearly,
highlight of a teaching career.
Clearly the future is bright for the two of you here. I'm wondering, you're juniors, what is next for you? Are we looking ahead to college, and is Caltech, you know, an inspiration? Are you thinking to yourself like, man, that would be cool? Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I'm actually a senior. I started this when I was a junior, but now it moved forward into my senior year, and it's kind of it's snowballing into this idea that maybe I could do this in college. So I'm looking, maybe getting a bachelor's in astronomy, or maybe doing even a minor in astronomy if something else takes.
What school are you looking at, or you're hoping to hear back from?
University of Rochester. That's the school that I'm
very good. Very good.
And here's to go to MCC next year. So
very good.
Nice.
Excellent.
Keeping Rochester respect.
Yes, you've got to represent the hometown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Got to rep.
Very good.
And I also heard a really cool fact that I actually read. You guys use social media to connect with others in order to get this together. It was Discord, right?
Yes, there was a little bit. We we tried working Discord and some of the other stuff, but we honestly Zoom was the way to go.
Nice. Great option.
Very good. Hey, thank you all so much for taking the time to talk with us again. You know, what is next in terms of this conference? How many days are you going to be there? And, you know, do we have a goal for wrapping it up?
2 days. And we're on a red eye out of here in Washington because they got school on Thursday and Friday. And I got to teach that whole thing, you know. But just, you know, the fact that Cal Mac supported us and, you know, Dr. Ike, our superintendent, our board, you know, it's never a question of you know, it's always how can we help? And that's just, it's an accelerant to making these things happen so these kids can get a benefit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you both so much. Thank you, all of you, so much for joining us this morning. We'll have everything on our website, foxrochester.com. And what time are you presenting, or are you set up right now just showing others?
We'll be presenting today at the IPAC booth here today, and then tomorrow is our official presentation. So
Very good. Well, best of luck to you. We're all rooting for you back here in Rochester, and safe travels.
Thank you so much for the interview today.
Take care. Time right now is 8:34. We still have a lot to get to here on ARC Rochester when we come back. This week's edition of Crime Stoppers.
And don't forget that you can watch us on the go wherever you are, streaming on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel. We're back after this. .37, we are checking in with Crime Stoppers, and this morning we are discussing some new DMV regulations in effect.
Yeah, for more, we're joined now by representatives from the Monroe County District Attorney's Office. We have William Cost and Rachel Woliski here. Good morning to you both. Thank you for coming in. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let's get right into it. New DMV regulations that people need to know about. A new year means new rules. I guess what's the biggest one, the most important one?
Exactly. So the two major changes are there are now related convictions and increased point values for other violations like speeding in a work zone, passing a school bus. These are things that previously didn't carry, either carried no points or very few, and now they're being increased.
So for the alcohol-related convictions, you said it had previously not.
Those sorts of offenses as part of penalty for conviction, your license would automatically be suspended, but now point values on your license are added up to 11 points for alcohol-related offenses.
Okay, so can you put into layman's terms what it means, the points on the license, for somebody who's sitting at home thinking, I have no idea what that, do I have points on my license?
Right. The points get assessed when you get a ticket, and if you get a certain number of points in an 18-month period, then you could be looking at consequences for your license, suspension, that sort of thing. One of the changes is actually the period for which, after 18 months, the points all go back to 0. But now New York State increased the period to 24 months. So it just increases that period of time where if you're racking up tickets, racking up the points, then you could be facing consequences for your license.
And do you both happen to know what the max point is? I'm from Maryland, so I know ours is different, but in New York State, it's also something else.
I believe it's up to 12 points. So these 11-point offenses, one more speeding ticket or other kind of violation that carries points would be a suspension on your license.
And there are different points for different incidents, correct? Can you go over what some of them are?
Yeah, so the more points there are, that is an indication of the severity of the offense, how strictly that the legislature wants to treat it. Like I was saying, things like speeding in a work zone, passing a school bus, things where you often have persistent offenders, people who continue to get tickets and don't obey the rules of the road.
Yeah. And I know with Work Zone, for example, we've been seeing some people maybe on social media commenting about it. What should people be aware of when it comes to being in those spaces? The fact that they're, of course, being enforced as well, but what else should they be aware of?
Just that there's an increased potential for, accidents happen, but there's an increased potential for your license to be suspended if you're not making sure that you're following those posted signs, following those work zone speed limits.
And getting your license suspended, that can really, that's not a small thing at all.
Yeah, it is just good to know, right? Like, I think a lot of people think that, well, if I get a ticket, it'll be that the legislature is treating more strictly.
For sure. Is there anything else that people should be aware of that's going into effect, or any tips?
I mean, just make sure that you're following those posted signs and make sure that you're, paying those fines so that you don't unintentionally get a license suspension.
Yeah.
I think cruise control is your friend.
Very good.
That's a good one.
Excellent. Thank you both so much for your time today. We appreciate it. Don't forget those new DMV regulations, and we'll put all of these for you over on foxrochester.com.
Hey, stick around. We have much more to get to here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, we're taking a look at the California wildfire.
We're going to be back right after this. Most food holidays only last for a single day, right? Like there's a national day for everything. But there's one particular food that is so great and so popular, it gets an entire week dedicated to it.
Yeah, that's National Pizza Week. And Rochester, of course, has no shortage of great pizza. And Chris Lopez has picked one place that he's never been to before. So we go live to him at Pizza Wizard this morning. Chris, what are you up to?
What's up, guys? So I've been getting some requests here and there throughout the morning about bringing some pizza back. And I've chosen a flavor that you guys probably will like, and it's right here. It's a little bit of a burnt crust pizza. This is what I'm bringing back to you. It was made a lot of labor, and this may not look all that great, but translates a lot better on the table than it does through the screen, so you're gonna have to trust me on that. This is what I'm bringing back to you. This is for you guys. You're welcome. It's going back to the studio. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. We have some pizzas here for you guys that we are bringing back, and this is very much courtesy. I keep wanting to point out, Jay is back there. He's working hard. Jay is the man, the myth. He is the wizard of the dough. He's been working since 5 o'clock this morning, putting the dough together, and the dough, from what I'm told from Brian, it's the most important part. You mess that up, you don't have a good Detroit-style pizza.
Absolutely.
But here, Brian, what do we got? What are we bringing back to the studio?
Yeah, for the studio folks, the Zinger, which you and I
lovely choice
made
right
together.
there.
This is just a build-your-own veggies. Maybe it's a little healthier. Maybe you got some health-focused, health-minded.
New year, new me type
There you
stuff.
go. It's got artichokes, a little garlic oil.
The crustation of the cheese, or the caramelization of the cheese still.
So, Chris, they call this the crown. The cheese edge is called the crown, just so you have it straight. You know?
Okay. The crown. There we go.
There's a little kale on there, too. Kale was hot about 10 years ago. We're trying to bring it back. So anybody still into kale, there you go. And then down here, classic, the OG, the original pepperoni pizza, red sauce.
Cup and char.
Cup and char always.
Gotta love that.
This is our sausage pizza. It's called the Rudy Toot. Why it's called that, I have no idea. No clue. But that has our house-made sausage, a little ricotta cream, a little pickled pepper puree, some more artichokes, and a garlic oil, too. Over here, it's kind of just like a mix of a few pizzas. It's kind of a white garlic-based pizza with roasted garlic, a little arugula, and sun-dried tomato.
Love that right there, the arugula.
And because the Bills made it yet to another week,
Bills are billing.
We are doing a buffalo chicken pizza. We haven't done it in a few months, so this has some chicken tenders sliced up, a little Frank's dry rub. They basically take Frank's Red Hot and they dehydrate it, so it's like a powder that's on the tenders. And there's just your standard blue cheese drizzle, and underneath there's a buffalo garlic sauce as well. So that's going to be for this week. Go Bills.
Speaking of the sauces, though, I do want to point something out. Probably the second most important part, so one of the most important parts is the sauce.
Yes,
and you do get that locally.
Well, we make it in-house, but we were fortunate enough to get it canned locally for retail sales. Now, that's by Paulie Guglielmo over at Craft Cannery. He was so kind to let me come in. We had a great time. The recipe for a big production like that, a 100-gallon vat or something like that, he'd be able to tell you. Great guy, great company, but he cans this for us. We sell it in-house.
We may be seeing Paulie Guglielmo in a few weeks. Who knows? I don't know. We got something cooking on with Paulie Guglielmo. We're going to go to the beer. Can't have pizza without a beer, for the most part, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we over here, if you look behind me, we got a bunch of different selections, bunch of beers, ciders, things like that. Up here is a couple of the local selections. Now, this is from my arch nemesis restaurant, Strange Bird.
I know who they are.
They are my arch nemesis, but we still sell their product. Don't ask me why. But no, really, they're the best people, best food, best drink, great people. That's just a joke. And then this is a local company that's just coming out. They're called Collage Cellars. Now, keep your eyes out for this one. You're going to be hearing about them real soon. That's all I can say.
People want to check this out. This is my first time here. I'd imagine there are some people that have never been here before. What are the opening times for you guys? Do you have a social media presence?
Yes, very important. We are open Wednesday to Sunday. We did this on Tuesday. Do not be calling here trying to place orders for today. We're not open.
Okay.
Just Jay and I are hanging out, having a good time. We don't want to be messing with any customers. So, to Sunday, we open at 11 a.m. We do slices. Right over here to my right, this will be filled with just different variety of pizza slices. That ends at 2 p.m.
Okay.
But we're open until 8:30. So online ordering is the best way. You can look at the menu, every item. You don't have to call and ask us, what's on your menu? Okay. It's all there for you. We are open till 8:30. Yeah, Tuesday to Sunday. Sundays we close a little early.
There we go.
Online presence, Pizza Wizard. Just search us. You'll find it. It'll pop up.
That's how I
Pizza
found you guys.
Wizard. Yeah.
And we'll have information on our website on Fox Rochester. You guys were great. Wizards here at Pizza Wizard. I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. We're going to rush this back. This is hot. We're going to bring this to you guys in studio.
What a
back
pal.
to you.
Wow. Honestly,
okay.
that one is, when I first looked at it, I thought it was like a specialty pizza, and I was trying to figure out what it was, and now
It's
Pretty
chocolate.
bad.
yeah, chocolate. Okay. Thanks,
Chocolate.
Chris. We'll see you in a little bit. You're going to be the most popular guy in the newsroom.
All right, stick around. We have much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, meteorologist Mark McLean. He's joining us.
Yeah, we're back after this.
Lives.
8:53, welcome back. Meteorologist Mark McLean is here, and we're talking about the wildfires out in Southern California and the strong winds that are expected to pick up there today, Mark, and not just mildly strong. We're talking significantly strong winds.
Yeah, and the last thing that you want if you have a fire going is wind, right? I mean, think about just starting a fire.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a fireplace, you have a fire pit in your backyard, you want to have a fire, what's the first thing you always go for? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to fan it somehow, you're trying to spread it. What's the last thing you want if you have a natural wildfire? Is wind. Right? I mean, and we're talking about like thunderstorm wind gusts. Look at some of these gusts just over the last 24 hours. Now, you know, I'm not familiar with a lot of these spots. I've never been to Southern California, but you know, you can appreciate just the values on the right-hand side of the screen. You're driving a car down the road. I mean, Simi Valley, you're on an expressway at 55 miles per hour, and if that catches on to a fire that's already going, that's going to have some obvious results there. Browns Canyon, 54 miles per hour. Magic Mountain, 53. And you come down, you start to see Malibu Hills, and now you see a name you recognize, and you can imagine the homes there with 50-mile-per-hour winds, and some of these, you've got fires that are hundreds of acres in size. And the meteorology behind this is kind of fascinating. We used the word yesterday on the air. I said this is a word you'll probably never hear us say on the air again, and it's katabatic. Okay. It's a dry wind. It's a wind that downslopes, and when the air sinks in the atmosphere, it compresses and it warms up. So you have to take the air from that big blue H that you see on there. So all the air is sinking under that. It's sinking down into the Rockies. You see all those canyons that are oriented northeast to southwest there through parts of Nevada, parts of Southern California. It just channels and it funnels that wind out of the northeast direction, and it sends it right down into Southern California. So as that wind starts to get down there, it sinks even more because, of course, Los Angeles is right on the Pacific Ocean. So there's basically very, very little elevation there. And with the wind forecast, I was looking at some of the data that we have from the National Weather Service and also some of the model forecast data that we have. They're going to put the wind gusts, 40, 45 miles per hour, and that's going to catch some of those fires that are already going out. That is not the same amount of wind that we had earlier this week and last weekend, where the wind gusts were in excess of 80 miles per hour. So it's a bad situation. This is not going to make it better, obviously, but for the folks that are down there, this is just another round. It's another kick to the gut for the folks that are there.
And a lot of people, they're hoping for rain, but we know that a lot of these areas haven't seen that. Do we know if there's some relief at all on the way?
It's tough to get rain that far south this time of the year. It's a 5-month period, really, that goes through the course of a lot of the winter. Sometimes it starts to break up December, January, and you get towards February, you get a little bit, but it can be really tough to get systems down that far south. And what these areas of high pressure do, too, everything has to go around it. It's like putting something big in your bathtub, and everything has to go. The water has to go around that object to get to the drain. That's what high pressure is. It's just a big block in the atmosphere, and everything has to circulate around it in terms of storm systems. So it's tough to get any moisture down that way.
So when we talk about weather conditions, what would be ideal for finally getting some relief and easing some of the madness that's going on in Southern California?
Yeah, so you could either have high pressure right over that area and just basically stop the wind. You could actually, center that high a little bit closer to the coast, or we could further south, come across the Pacific and start bringing those storm systems down into Southern California, start delivering some of that rain that they need.
And we'd have been talking about helicopters, for example, or planes coming in with water and different things like that. Do you think these winds may complicate those efforts?
It's got to add to the challenge. I mean, we saw the helicopters, and we saw the one airplane there that scoops water. They say 1,500 gallons of water at a time. Multiply that by what, 7.5, 8 pounds a gallon. You get how much weight that is coming down, and that's only going to contain a small part that's on fire. So that they'll bring the water in, they'll drop it down. But I mean, look at the size of some of these blazes on the screen. If you put a 45-mile-per-hour wind through that, there's going to be ash and cinder flying through the atmosphere, and it's just going to land in another spot that's dry and desiccated, and it's going to start a new wildfire. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was wondering, let's say that the fires all get put out, right? How likely is it that they could start back up again, even after it's just, ash?
And you have to worry about the infrastructure too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to shut the gas lines off to these places, the power lines that have, if they were above ground lines, they've been burned. The infrastructure's damaged. You start to turn those back on. You get an arc here. You get a spark there. It's a terrible situation for everybody that's out there. It really is.
Yeah. All right, Mark McLean, thank you very much for the insight. We appreciate it. And time right now is 8:58. We still have a lot to get to here on ARC Rochester as we continue into the 9 o'clock hour.
We're back after this.
Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us here on ARC Rochester. I'm Abby Friedman.
And I'm Stephanie Joseph. We still have a lot more to come here on ARC Rochester, including we are looking ahead to this weekend for Roberts Community Theater's upcoming production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. We will sit down with some of the cast members to learn more about it.
Yeah, that's a classic. And then later we'll be going over the results for our poll of the day. This morning we are asking you, how do you feel about social media in general? The options are: I love it, I check them every now and then, the less platforms the better, or I stay away from it altogether.
You can continue as well as comment below. We want to hear from you, and we'll have results from the poll at the end of this hour.
Yeah, stay tuned for that. But we're going to get right back into the show this morning and explore the wonderful land of Oz.
Yeah, the Rochester Philharmonic Orchestra is getting ready to take you down the yellow brick road as they transform Rochester into the Emerald City.
Yeah, the live to film concert experience is happening tomorrow night and will feature items from the movie, courtesy of the All Things Oz Museum in Central New York.
Yeah, and so this morning we are talking to conductor of the concert, Scott Terrell, as well as the museum's president, Mark Baum, all about the event. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I kind of have to ask you off the top, there's so much fanfare around Oz itself with Wicked being released. Are you feeling that with this show as well?
Yeah, certainly, from our perspective at the museum, we're here in Chittenango, New York, which is the birthplace of L. Frank Baum, but Wicked has been a huge interest and traffic, and people kind of getting excited about the Oz universe again. So it's exciting to see that.
It is exciting, and there's always so much love for the Wizard of Oz, like Steph said, not just with Wicked, but in general. It's one of those of it, right? You've got the Ruby Slippers, you've got the Emerald City, the Yellow Brick Road, just to name a couple. Tell us a little bit about the All Things Oz Museum and some of the things that are going to be brought to the show.
Yeah, so we're excited to be with the RPO for this performance. It's going to be really neat to see. It's always great to see the Wizard of Oz on the big screen anyway. It's a different experience than watching it on your television. And with the live orchestra, it's going to be spectacular. So we're looking forward to that. We're going to have an All Things Oz experience kind of before and after the show. You can come and you can see Munchkin appearance costume worn by Margaret Pellegrini, who was one of the Munchkins in the 1939 film. We've got Judy Garland's autograph, some replica ruby slippers, as well as silver shoes from Wicked from the stage production. We'll have a backdrop for pictures, lots of things to see, some sheet music from The Wiz signed by Andre de Shields, Broadway deity Andre de Shields, and lots of other stuff. It's all free with the admission to the concert. You get to come and see all this stuff. And then we've got that piece right there that you're showing, the Wicked lobby card will be there too, and the fiddle, just all kinds of great stuff. It's going to be awesome, or awesome, as we like to say.
I love that.
Very clever.
It really is amazing, and you're centering it not just on the music itself, but that whole entire experience, bringing in all of these different artifacts. How did this idea come together?
Yeah, so the Rochester Philharmonic reached out to us. We have a big festival every year called Ozstravaganza, which is the largest and longest running Wizard of Oz theme festival in the world. About 30,000 people come every year to Chittenango, New York, outside Syracuse, and on our Yellow Brick Road sidewalks. And, it's the birthplace of L. Frank Baum, so there's some history here. And it's to your point, it's kind of Americana, right? There's not a day that goes by that someone doesn't say, oh, there's no place like home, or if I only had a brain, not in conversation about the movie or the books, just in conversation. And I think the RPO, in doing this, said, hey, this is from a kid who was born and raised in Central New York, and we've got a connection, so let's do this together. And they reached out.
And Scott, I want to talk a little bit about how the RPO has been getting ready for this performance and this show. I bet everybody's looking forward to it.
Yeah, I can assure you that it's a performance and a score that the orchestra always, the first time I work, the first couple of minutes of rehearsal, the orchestra immediately is forget that this was the soundtrack of all films. And so these composers who write, particularly The Wizard of Oz, is to forget sometimes they're playing a movie. And but they always say the same, which is that every time I've done this, the orchestra just removes one of the great scores of all time.
Yeah, truly amazing. For anybody that wants to get tickets, really be a part of this, do they still have time, and where can they go?
I'm probably the wrong guy to ask. I already have my ticket. But I'm guessing you can go to the rpo.org and they can get you quickly to a seat and tickets. We're really excited. I was saying to Margaret, we'd love to have a full house of people there to enjoy this experience. But yeah, please check it out online at rpo.org.
Very good. Hey, thank you both so much for your time today. We appreciate it. Break a leg, and we really look forward to having all of those very, very cool pieces from the exhibit in the city. And, best of luck to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, stick around and empathetic.
Yeah, and don't forget, follow us wherever you go. Stream us live on the 13 Wham YouTube channel. We're back after this.
With the new year, many might be looking for ways to improve in the workplace, and for some, that might mean finding better ways to communicate.
Yeah, I think we can all improve on that, right? Yeah. One author's book has some ideas for us, and this morning we have Dr. Beth Sears to talk about the book and how it can help us unlock impactful communication with our coworkers. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
You brought the book with you. Let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, it's about changing the way we choose to show up. Very often people feel that they have to wear a mask, be what other people want them to be. And this is really about getting in touch with who you truly are, becoming more authentic through self-awareness and learning how to take off that mask and communicate in a manner that not only inspires others, but helps you to be seen as more of a good resource.
For sure. And we were talking about this a little bit during break, but how did you come up with this book?
Well, it really is about, it started with my story. I started with very low self-esteem. And through that journey, I have a longtime friend. And I got honest with her maybe 25 years ago, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you were good." She goes, "I would have never known you were going through that." And so many people do. They have something going on the inside, but it doesn't show up on the outside. And they're out of integrity. And so it really is about matching your insides with your outsides, but doing it in a manner that's respectful.
So how do we do it in a way that is...
Very often we don't know how we show up. The first time I heard my tone, I thought I'd fall over when I really heard it. Because we just show up and we blame other people, and that's how it started. You know, somebody gave me feedback and I said, well, I won't talk anymore then. Who does that hurt? So through my process, I learned how to communicate in a manner, not necessarily always giving my opinion, but planting seeds and be able to have people look at you and say, I want to know what Beth thinks. She's a real inspiration, or things like that. So it really is about communicating in a manner that people can hear.
And I feel like it's common for a lot of people to have that knee-jerk reaction, well, nothing's wrong with me, or I'm fine. How do you work on becoming more open-minded to feedback like that?
Being aware of who you are. One of my favorite stories is I was given a coaching client. I've coached for a long time. Given a coaching client, and he was one of the most talented individuals and had all the gifts, but they turned him down, and he was livid. He said, I'm the best person for the job. Well, the people who are going to work for him said, we don't want to work with him. Interpersonal skills not there. So they suggested that he work with me. And I will say, I was afraid of frostbite our first meeting. He was not willing. And then little by little, he started peeling back the layers. I call it looking in the mirror. And instead of blaming others, looking at what he might do differently, because face it, that's the only thing in your control.
Absolutely.
And little by little, he worked on himself. And 6 months later, those same people who turned him down for the job suggested him for a promotion.
Wow. How interesting is
Yes.
that? So I am curious to know how your sessions with him were after he was offered the promotion. Less frosty?
Oh, we're good friends
You're
today.
good friends. Okay, good.
We're really good friends, but the biggest bonus for me is the ripple effect of my work. I believe when things get better at work, stress is reduced, things get better at home. And when things get better at home, even kids do better. And he gave me that feedback. Wow. Our last session, he said, you know, thanks, Beth. And I said, well, I really enjoy the effort you put in. He goes, you don't understand. Yes, work's better, but home is too. My wife used to say, we need to talk. Now it's me. So I really love this work, and I love
Isn't home where it matters the most?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Any of our relationships that can be improved, even incrementally, it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of really great advice coming from you, and I'm sure that's in the book as well. Where can people buy it if they want to get it?
It's on Amazon now, and it just kicked off about 8 weeks ago, I believe. So it's fresh off the press, and I'm starting to put together a class to go, and that'll be new in 2025.
Very good. Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
so exciting. And
It really
curious how long it took you to write that and put it all together.
How old do you know? It's actually the third rendition of a book. I started with a book on culture because that's one of the things I do. And then it became a leadership book. But then I talked to a leader who he said he had an employee who was driving him nuts. Do you remember how it felt when you first became a director? He goes, oh, I was scared to death. I thought I should know everything. You know, they're going to find out I don't know what I'm doing. I said, would you share that with them? And he looked at me and he says, I don't know if I should. I said, trust me on this one.
Wow.
Become human. And he did that, and the gentleman goes, okay, so it's really about doing your own work, then sharing your stories appropriately, I might add, helping others to take their journey and transition their life as well.
Very good. Doc, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it. We'll put the link for the book and the Amazon page over on our website, foxrochester.com. Thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Yes. And stick around. We have much more to come here on ARC Rochester, including when we come back, an update on some of the top headlines that we're following this morning.
Yeah, stick around. We're back after this.
Tuesday morning, I'm Stephanie Joseph. Here's your ARC Rochester news break. Rochester police are looking for suspects after a stabbing on the city's west side. Police say around 9:30 last night, a man in his 20s arrived at Strong Memorial Hospital, where we're told he's being treated for non-life-threatening injuries. According to investigators, he was stabbed after an argument on Child Street near Campbell. No suspects are in custody. Anyone with information should call 911. New developments in the case of Robert Brooks, who died after he was beaten by corrections officers at a central New York prison last month. Tomorrow, his family is planning to announce a civil rights lawsuit and address the media. Brooks's death remains under investigation. 17 employees at the prison have been suspended, but so far no criminal charges have been announced. Happening today, we will learn Governor Kathy Hochul's plans for the new year in her State of the State address. The governor has said that the future will be focused on education, mental health, and has also hinted at introducing legislation to restrict cell phone use in schools. Hochul says one of her main goals for 2025 is to put more money in New Yorkers' pockets, with proposals that could eliminate copays for insulin and offer relief with medical debt. The governor's address is set for 1 this afternoon, and we'll stream it live on 13wham.com. Also today, the city of Rochester is looking for community input on the impact of the opioid epidemic. Last month, Mayor Malik Evans announced a community-wide survey, which can be taken on the city's website. Tonight, there is a community input meeting for residents in Northwest Rochester. It's from 6 to 8 at Cameron Community Ministries on Cameron Street. Monroe County also launching a new overdose fatality review team. The group will be made up of public and mental health experts. Will meet monthly to identify trends and review data. Their goal is to find ways to save lives impacted by the opioid crisis. Now, according to the county's overdose dashboard, there were more than 1,700 overdoses last year, 143 of which were fatal. In national news, Attorney General Merrick Garland has released former special counsel Jack Smith's report on President-elect Donald Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The 130-page report contains details that were mostly already known, including Trump's pressuring of state officials, Vice President Mike Pence, and the plan to use fraudulent electors. Smith refers to these as, quote, a series of criminal efforts to retain power. The report also details continued investigations of Trump's co-conspirators, but they were never indicted. And a lame-brained prosecutor who was unable to get his case tried before the election, which I won in a landslide. The voters have spoken. Meantime, on Capitol Hill, confirmation hearings began today for the president-elect's choices for his cabinet. Those picks include former Fox News host Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary, Florida Senator Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, and former independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Director of Health and Human Services. Now to Southern California, where winds are expected to pick up today as firefighters continue a nearly week-long battle against deadly wildfires. At least 24 people have died and dozens are still missing. According to CAL FIRE, the two largest fires, the Palisades and Eaton, are both less than 50% contained. Some survivors say they're just grateful for the kindness of strangers as they wait to return to their homes.
When I came down here, I was blown away just how much the community is pulling together and how amazing it truly is. And just to see each person, they're just pouring their love and their energy into every single thing that they're doing. It's amazing.
Now, President Biden has announced that people impacted by the fire are eligible for a one-time payment of $770. Now, for all of these top stories and any updates, be sure to visit 13wham.com. Stick around. Ark Rochester is back right after this. Tuesday morning. Welcome back to Arc Rochester. I'm Stephanie Joseph.
I'm Abby Fridman. We still have a lot to get to coming up in the next half hour here on Arc Rochester, but we're going to check back in with meteorologist Mark McLean to talk about the local forecast. Can you hear that?
I can.
Can you at home hear that? Do you hear it? The buzzing?
The frequency changes when you move around.
I know. When you're sitting here, it's 10 times worse.
Where you're sitting is like the epicenter of it.
Eyes like twitching. Wow. Okay, it's fine. It's all good. It's fine.
Oh, no.
We're chilling, literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Because it's stinking cold, Mark.
Yeah. We'll start with that, and then we're going to talk. I guess it's par for the course for this time of the year, but it's not the cold and the snow for me. I actually enjoy those two things, right? It's that wind out of the west at 21 miles per hour. Okay. You pack that together with the temperature, it feels like it's 4 degrees outside. And some of these spots south, look at Grove. This is the New York State Mesonet. By the way, these are like independent weather stations that are just placed all over western New York by SUNY Albany is the data keeper for these. So these are updated every 5 minutes, which is pretty cool for us. A lot of the data updates with less frequency. But 5 in Brockport, 8 in Clifton Springs. And you look at the ultimate Doppler, obviously the cold is leading to a little bit of snow well to our northwest and definitely to our southwest. That's where the snow is really starting to build in. You look at western parts of Wyoming County, a solid 2 to 4 inches there as we go through the course of the day today, as you can see. But when do we get snow near Rochester? You're going to be brushing the car off tomorrow morning.
Oh.
Yep. It's a coating to 2 inches. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of snow, but 3 to 6 inches out into Wayne County. That would be Lakeside and areas closer to Cayuga County, well off to the northeast of Rochester. So forecast-wise, we'll see temps in the 20s. That wind continues. Some sunny breaks tucked in there as well. That's obviously well below average for this time of the year. And the extended forecast, some light snow Thursday. We'll have a mainly snow-free day on Friday, mid-30s, and it does turn colder. Another cold front next week is going to be the week, probably the coldest week of the year. If I had to take a guess, it's going to be in the teens, single digits at times. It's going to be cold.
When you say coldest week of the year, do you mean that's going to be the coldest point?
It's possible.
And then it's up from there?
It's possible. Usually, historically, the coldest day of the year is February 9th. It was negative 22 in 1934 on that day. That was, you want to talk about brutal. This is
what year was that?
1934.
Okay, so nobody was emailing the station back then or calling the weather.
Lake Ontario probably had a good amount of ice on it to do something like that.
Jeez. Okay, that's, I'm always trying to find the good. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, if we reach the coldest point, the best we can do is go up.
Yeah.
My fear is that, first of all, it could get colder or we just stay there for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
That is always the hardest part for me living in Western New York,
Yeah.
where I've lived for pretty much all of my life. The gray, cold, it's like Groundhog Day every day.
Yeah,
it's going to be gray,
it's
going to be cold.
February 2015 was the coldest month in the history of Rochester. So, a lot of us were here for that. The average temperature was 11 degrees, point of water.
What year was that?
That was February of 15.
6 hours?
That's it, 6 hours for the entire month.
Wow.
Yep. I think we got to talk about moon, right?
Yeah, we
Let's do
some
it.
moon stuff. All
The
right.
wolf moon.
All right. I don't know if I have it loaded. Oh, there, it's loaded up now. All right. So this was last night. Unfortunately, a lot of the cloud cover around, we didn't necessarily get to see this, but 5:27 yesterday evening, that was the full wolf moon. And this one was really cool because, and if you want to look tonight, if we do get some breaks, we've got some breaks in the clouds right now. Clouds will come back in later with some of that snow, but moonrise tonight at 5:46, so it'll be like 98.5% full. So close counts, right? And the other part of this was with Mars, the planet Mars actually passed behind the moon yesterday. So this is called an occultation of the planet. So it's basically a disappearing act, just to us locally. The moon is a lot closer, obviously, than the planet Mars. So it's relatively small and distant initially when this actually did occur.
That's neat.
Isn't that cool?
That is really cool.
Yeah, so there's a Western New York astronomy group on Facebook that I'm a part of, and one of the guys there, he posted a bunch of pictures. Scott Banker is his name.
Okay.
And he posted a bunch of pictures. It's pretty cool to see. And they got the high-res photography, so you're seeing like all the little dimples on the moon and all the little divots and dents. Obviously they're, we have official terms for these. They're craters.
Yeah, right.
But it still looks cool.
Can we pull up that graphic again? I liked the little sidebar that you had with all of the different names for all of the different moons.
Yeah.
The one behind this, for the full wolf moon. Sure.
Okay, so
people thought they called it that that because of wolves howling, but they actually call it that because they're trying to communicate. That it's like a pack order kind of thing, and they coordinate when they hunt.
And they some of them look different than the typical moon. Do you have a favorite on that list? Is there one where you're like, that one's
I
cool?
have a least favorite.
You have a least favorite?
The harvest moon, because that means the growing season coming to an end.
Yeah.
So that's my
had
least
one of those
favorite.
this year. Or not this year.
The corn moon's a good one. You know,
The corn moon.
Yeah, it's summertime. You know, you get the planting moon, full planters moon. I think that's a good one too. But our growing season can be kind of interesting around here. You know, with late season freezes and frosts.
Oh gosh.
You just cross your fingers sometimes.
2-degree days and
yeah.
all that stuff.
In May.
Yeah.
In May.
Hope not. All right. Good stuff, Mark.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. Lots of fun.
What are Mark's Weather Minute?
We got to get our garden gripes going
I like
again.
that,
Garden
actually.
gripes.
Yeah.
You like that name? Garden gripes?
I
Used to
do.
go
That
around
used to be a thing, yeah?
and remedy like gardening problems and have some fun out there.
You have to come to my house because
There's lots of gripes.
a lot of
My thumb
gripes.
is purple. It's not green.
It's perfect. That's pretty good.
Sounds like it's going to take lots of grunts to fix it.
Exactly. Yep. All right, time right now is 9:35. We still have a lot to get to. Coming up on ARC Rochester, when we come back, we're going to look ahead to a musical from Roberts Community Theater. They're getting ready to take the stage.
Yeah, and don't forget that you can watch us on the go wherever you are by streaming us live on the 13 WHAM YouTube channel. We're back after this.
Right now is 9:38. This morning, we're going behind the curtain of an exciting show being put on by Roberts Community Theater, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Yeah, it's a musical retelling of the biblical story of Joseph, his father, and 11 brothers, and it's all taking the stage this weekend at Roberts Wesleyan University.
Yeah, telling us more about it this morning is cast members Kasim Huzair and Steve Valvano. Good morning to you both. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Our pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about the roles that you guys are playing in the musical.
So I'm playing the title of the show, Joseph. It's just, that's revolved around his character from the Old Testament.
Very good.
I'm playing Jacob, his father, and we hit it off from the get-go. It's been a lot of fun. Our first engagement on stage. Joseph, and it's love after that. We get along great.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And we were talking about it during break, but this has been a while coming in terms of putting this show together. You're excited to get it off its feet. What made you interested in wanting to be a part of this production?
Well, I've done theater for quite a while. I'm closing in on 75, so all this stuff is great. But this is just a wonderful, wonderful show to begin with. I enjoy working and meeting new people doing these shows. It keeps me young.
And how about for you?
I, as well, have been acting for quite a while, numerous shows. I was a theater arts major over at Genesee Community College, and I transferred over, actually, to Roberts Wesleyan for music ed. So when I found out that it would be 20 feet away from me that they're doing a production, I just had to audition.
Very good.
For sure.
And this is such a fun musical. You know, when we talk about it, it's a biblical story, Old Testament. You know, for somebody who's unfamiliar, they might be thinking like, wow, okay, that sounds very intense. That's not it at all. It's very fun.
Oh, absolutely. The music is a lot of fun. Name a genre, and it's in there. All different styles of music. There's a country western, tangos, calypsos, rock and roll, old time rock and roll with an Elvis approach to it. So yeah, it's a blast to do this.
Yeah, and is there any favorite song or moments that you guys have?
Well, you've got a lot of them. So.
Yeah. My favorite moment before was just probably any of the intense songs when Joseph is yelling at his brothers. That's because they're in very complicated time signatures, and it's very, it's really refreshing. But once I received my coat after it was made, for the show, that's always my favorite moment. I'm constantly asking our director, can I just wear it for one entire rehearsal?
And how about for you?
Probably my favorite moment is those Canaan days. It's kind of a tango thing. It's a lot of fun. The 11 brothers that are singing in that in that piece. Oh my goodness! What a choir of voices! It's just amazing how they assembled that cast. But I love it. It gives me goosebumps when we sing those. Yeah.
I am so excited for both of you. For somebody watching at home who is interested in going, give us the ticketing information, the dates, the times, all that good stuff.
Dates are this weekend, Friday the 17th at 7 o'clock, Saturday the 18th at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock, and then Sunday the 19th at 2 o'clock. Phone number, 585-594-6008. Or online, it's box office at roberts.edu.
Wow, impressive.
Information right there.
Did I get that
Very
right?
good. I think you got it all right. You guys, thank you both so much for coming in today. We really appreciate it. What would be your one last message to somebody who's on the fence about going?
Well, first of all, you'll be home before the game on Sunday.
Good. Okay. Very good.
A lot of fun, exciting. It's a family show, and there's quite a large children's choir to be seen also.
And you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's just super fun. If you are a lover of music, of acting, of theater, you should definitely consider come and see it. Yeah, definitely come and see it.
All right. Well, thank you both so much. Really appreciate it. We'll have everything on our website, foxrochester.com.
Time right now is 9:43. We still have a lot to get to here on Arc Rochester. When we come back, we're going to take a look at what's trending this morning.
We're back after this. to take a look at what people are talking about in this morning's Trending Now. So let's start things out with a story that you may want to hear before you head out to get some breakfast.
Yeah, some Dunkin' stores around the country are experiencing a shortage of donuts. This is crazy. Customers in a couple different states, including Arizona, Nebraska, and New Mexico, are noticing that the treat isn't there.
Yeah, so signs posted in locations state, quote, manufacturing error. That's surprising.
Yeah. Employees are saying their food deliveries arrived without their shipment of donuts altogether.
And Dunkin' is still investigating the full extent of this issue. An estimated 4% of Dunkins were affected. Didn't hear any in New York State.
Yeah. Yeah, they say they're actively working to restock all of the locations sufficiently. In the meantime, employees are asking all customers to just be kind and be patient with them if they don't have your favorite in store. And you know what? That is a good thing to remember. It is not my sister-in-law used to work at Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
And I love her to death. She is just the best. And she was in charge of like decorating the donuts.
Oh, that's fun.
And yeah, and you know, they have like the little spiders at Halloween time.
Yeah.
And this year for Christmas, she made the cake for us and decorated it with her tree. And it was just the cutest thing. And she's like, I learned how to do this when I worked at Dunkin'.
Oh.
And it was adorable. And
Yeah.
it was precious. But yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But inclement weather, you know, you can't control it.
At all. Yeah, we've seen a lot of it ourselves, but at least there's still coffee.
Yeah.
So.
All right, we're going to talk about another coffee chain this morning, Starbucks, telling folks they have to buy something or get out.
Yeah, the chain released a statement yesterday expressing a new code of conduct, so shops will no longer welcome visitors unless they purchase something or are with someone who is buying.
The code of conduct warns violators will be asked to leave and says the store might even call law enforcement if necessary.
Now, of course, this is a major change to their previous long-standing policy that allowed anyone into their cafes or to use the bathroom.
The new policy also bans smoking and outside alcohol.
The company says that the changes come to help prioritize paying customers and make employees feel safe.
This policy will take effect at the end of January on the 27th. What are your thoughts?
You know, this actually did happen or was in effect in Ireland. I was studying abroad and we were at this one place and they were like, sorry, you can't use the bathroom because there was a code for it unless you buy something. And I know in places like DC, for example, that might be something that they're gravitating towards, but I guess I didn't expect it to expand to all. So
yeah,
kind of surprised.
I'm surprised too. I could see it being that way for mom and pop shops.
Yeah.
Starbucks, I think maybe a little bit different. I just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
people are going to buy.
complicated. Yeah, I think it's complicated. But, you know, support your small businesses.
Yes.
How about that? Let's move on now. A pizzeria in Virginia has made their opinions very clear about what toppings they believe belong on pizza.
All right. Lupa Pizzeria has listed the standard Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple for $125.
That is horrible. Okay, the owners even listed the item on their menu with a description reading, quote, this is, for this much money, you can have it. Order the champagne too. They go on to call anyone who likes the toppings on the pizza
about their hate for people who like pineapple on their pizza. So, okay.
The shop offers creative special pizzas like garlic whipped tofu, but pineapple, they say, is where they draw the line.
That is surprising.
What do you
Tofu?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Dan's all about the tofu.
I need it marinated.
Okay.
I need some sort of coating, cornstarch fried.
Okay.
It just
For
has
the
no
tofu.
flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the pineapple situation?
I don't remember the last time I've had pineapple on pizza, but I love a good warm slice.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with warming up the pineapples, then I don't think it's too bad.
My ideal pizza, pineapple and olive.
Really?
I know that sounds so disgusting, and I'll own it. And I will. Producer Ashley says it's hers too. I've never had it with jalapeno. Listen, it is so stinking good. I can't even tell you how good it is. You just have to try it.
I'd be willing to try it. There's a salad that my mom used to make with fish in it, and
okay.
I think I would like it probably.
Did it have pineapple and olives in it too?
It had some other things. It had tomatoes, of course the lettuce, salad cream, if you've ever heard of that. It's a Heinz brand, I believe. Some other things. Oh my goodness. maybe some onions. There was a whole bunch in there. I have to ask her to make it for me.
Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? I don't know if I'd pay $125.
No.
Because that seems like a lot. And if you think about it, okay, if you're having a party, right? Like I'm thinking like a football party. You order a large pizza and wings, you're pretty much at $100
Yeah.
with delivery fees and the tip and all of that good stuff, right? Like it 30 wings plus a large pizza, it's gonna cost you. So $125 on top of that. I don't know. I don't think it's worth it.
Maybe for the champagne?
Maybe. Ooh, yeah, I could get on board with that.
All right, we're going to move on now to some fashion news. Have you ever been at work and, just wanted to go home and jump right into the pool? Well, you can.
Okay. David Lloyd Fitness Club produced a waterproof suit collection.
Now, it allows wearers to seamlessly transition from their workspace to the swimming pool and then back again.
We have so much time on our hands. The company produced the garments following feedback from members who said they struggled to fit exercise into their busy daily routines.
Ad photos show a chic professional moving effortlessly from lunchtime dip in the pool to tapping away on their laptop at a workstation.
The swimsuit collection is made from special water-resistant hydrophobic fabric. I think I'm saying all of that right.
Yeah.
Each garment taking more than 3 weeks to create.
Are they like handmade, for example?
It kind of seems like it, right?
The collection could be made available to the public soon based on demand. Have you ever seen New Girl before?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Swoot episode?
No.
It was when Schmidt and, why am I forgetting his other name? But his best friend on the show.
Winston?
Nick.
Okay.
They made a swoot, presented it to the sharks, or one of the sharks, and it was just about, I don't know, being comfortable while also being professional.
Okay.
It was a whole thing. This is what that reminds me of.
See, here's my problem. That is really ugly.
Oh my God.
Come on. Can we pull up, and this one gets a different, why does she just get a one piece?
Yeah.
I would like to see some more options for the women.
Before they release it to the public.
Yeah. That's what I would like to see. Or can I wear the blazer? I don't know. I just have questions. And also,
might be
also, I'm not a great swimmer, so I really can't. I would not take part in this. I wouldn't.
I feel like you'd still have to squeeze it out. I don't like being wet.
Yeah.
Like it's just, it's a terrible feeling. It's up there with the styrofoam squeaking.
Nothing worse than a wet sock.
Yeah.
Hey, stick around. When we come back, we have our final thoughts on this Tuesday morning.
We're back after this.
on this show have we brought up smell-o-vision. Would be great if you could smell how good this pizza smelled at home. So Chris Lopez was out and about all morning celebrating Pizza Week, National Pizza Week, right? National Pizza Week?
Yeah.
And he brought us back this delicious stuff. Yeah. I want to make sure I get the name of the place right here. Pizza Wizard. Pizza Wizard. And I am forgetting which one this is, but it smells really good. And it has
arugula.
It's got
some
arugula.
garlic.
It's got garlic. I'm gonna try it. And it was very nice because you know what, Chris typically does not bring food back for us.
Look at us.
I know. All right, we're like manhandling it, but that's okay.
Oh no.
Here, you take yours, and then I'm gonna grab mine. So this has been very, very fun. He did not want to be part of the segment, I guess. What do you think?
Oh, great. I tasted
It's great.
the crust first.
Oh, okay. So this is Detroit style, yes? Ish?
Yeah, like a deep dish.
It's very garlicky. From first glance, first smell.
I think, though, that the hints of tomato and even the cheese help to balance it out just a tad.
Woo!
It does. It's the first thing that you taste, the garlic, for sure.
Holy cow. That's good. That's really good. We got to do our results for our poll of the day. Here we go. Earlier today, we asked, how do you feel about social media? In general, of course, we asked you on social media. People said, the less platforms, the better.
Oh, would you look at that?
There you go. Those are the results. A good number of you said that, too. Thanks for...
Also got more local news coming up later. 13 Wham News at midday. We'll see you then, maybe.
See ya.